Hello there.
This is where the fun begins.
What's up, guys? Unofficial Star Wars here. Hope you're all doing well, and in this video we have a brand new tease and update into the regards of a possible potential Obi Wan Kenobi Season 2. We're gonna go ahead and hop right on into it, break it all down for you guys. Before we do though, however, grab that subscribe button if you haven't already, as we're discussing and covering all types of Star Wars related news, leaks, rumors, theories, and breakdowns here on the channel, so if you guys are into any of that, go ahead and grab that subscribe button today. Okay, so in this video we are going to be taking a read from comicbook.com. I'll have their article linked in the description down below for you guys to check out there as well. A new reveal, a bit of a tease, and maybe some bad news from Ewan McGregor himself about the possible potential of Obi Wan Kenobi Season 2 actually coming to fruition, actually happening, seems to have been revealed. He simply reveals that Ewan McGregor says that he hasn't actually gotten a call for Obi Wan Kenobi Season 2. Now, of course, us being Star Wars fans, we gotta speculate and over-theorize on this whole idea, and we know how this kind of industry works. We know how the film industry it works here. There's NDAs that are signed, non-disclosure agreements, of where the actors, cast, and crew members aren't able to discuss, aren't able to talk about many of these projects until the actual studios themselves are able to, or ready to, much rather, actually reveal anything. So him saying a simple, straight answer, no, can't really be taken as that. In other words, essentially, like, maybe there is a possible potential that he is actually working on it, or much rather that Lucasfilm is actually developing Obi-Wan Kenobi Season 2 right about now. Now, for those of you asking and wondering, why do we need an Obi-Wan Kenobi Season 2? The first season was enough, and there's already been enough with the character throughout the original trilogy to begin with, not to say also the prequels, oh yeah, and also the Clone Wars animated show, and he popping up also in the Star Wars Rebels animated show. Why do we need more Obi-Wan Kenobi? And the short answer to that, I think, is that there is more story to tell, and there is more potential for Obi-Wan Kenobi on Disney+. It goes both ways. For us as an audience, there's a story to tell, and for Disney, the House of Mouse, let's be honest, let's be real, there's money for them to make off of this, and there's profit to make from merchandise, from the actual show itself, garnering more subscribers, and it being one of the most viewed shows on all of Disney+, and out of all of the other streamers, beating out Netflix, HBO, Paramount, as one of the most popular and most viewed Star Wars shows for one, but just shows in general to begin with. So them continuing it on, and maybe in other words, Disney or the House of Mouse kind of milking it out, if you will, and kind of garnering more viewership from it and making a little bit more cash from it, is all the more reason for them to want to do that. And then, as I had also mentioned, for us of a standpoint of the fans, there is a story to tell with a possible potential Obi-Wan Kenobi Season 2. It's not just going to be, you know, Obi-Wan kind of just wandering through the desert, and I've mentioned this plenty of times here on the channel, in and out of our Obi-Wan Kenobi videos, of course, here on the channel. I have this video actually linked in the description down below for you guys to check out there as well, but it boils down to one simple line that is also said in the A New Hope original trilogy there, the duel between Vader and Obi-Wan, where Obi-Wan finally meets his demise. Vader reveals and says, "When I left you, I was but the learner." Now, when the two last saw each other was in the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, canonically, of course, going in the timeline of order events, of course. They never see each other during the events of the Rebels animated show. So when they duel in the Obi-Wan Kenobi season finale there, it is Obi-Wan that's leaving Vader. It's a very small detail and a small throwaway line even at that from the original trilogy, but that continuity still remains, and for that to remain intact and for that to come full circle and for it to make a little bit more sense, then they would have to duel again in a Obi-Wan Kenobi Season 2, and at the end of that duel, it would have to be Vader leaving behind Obi-Wan for it to really fit that line in A New Hope, of course. Okay, so as I had mentioned at the beginning of this video, we're going to take a read from comicbook.com. I'll have their article linked in the description down below for you guys to check out there as well. Even though 2 decades nearly have passed between Revenge of the Sith and the Obi-Wan Kenobi Disney Plus show, Ewan McGregor picked the pieces up right where he previously left the character. Over the span of those 6 episodes, McGregor's reprisal of the Jedi Master was looted by critics and fans alike, with many clamoring for a second season. Unfortunately, for those still holding on to hope for a sophomore outing, McGregor now says that there's been a bit of zero radio chatter between he and the folks at Lucasfilm about a possible potential season 2 of Obi-Wan Kenobi actually moving forward. He says that, in quote, "I would love to do a second season, but there's no talk of it yet. There's a lot going on at Disney," ending that quote right there. McGregor said this in a panel at Gothenburg Film Festival over Variety.com. Despite having fallen in love with playing the character, McGregor told the trade it wasn't always the way. In fact, McGregor said that it was initially a hard sell to get him on board for Star Wars: The Phantom Menace to begin with. Also saying that there, in quote, "It wasn't a done deal for me. I didn't think it was really who I was. I believed at that point I was a Danny Boyle actor. The beach was more important and meant it wasn't a flippant. I did ask a lot of people for advice though," the actor said in his chat, ending that quote right there. He reveals in another quote saying that, "I am happy that I am this character for a lot of people, but when these films came out, the prequels, they were so disliked," he added. "That was hard. The first one was panned and we still had to make another 2. It was weird to be in a film that was kind of hammered," ending that quote right there. And very much so, and very much true. And you know, him as a person, as a human being, he's able to say that, of course, and have that opinion on, and that's kind of just the bare truth. Like, the prequels were not received well when they were first coming out, and that first one, The Phantom Menace, it wasn't crazy with the critics all that much. I think the fans really enjoyed that movie though, however. But then kind of looking at it and going forward, there were the people that were out there that didn't like those movies whatsoever when they were coming out. So kind of looking at that and moving forward with that, it was difficult to make 2 more movies with the prequels, and it was hard to sell on the idea of wanting to even be Obi-Wan Kenobi for the prequel trilogy there as well. So there's a bit of a rough history there overall with the character, playing the character, and really wanting to come back for more. I don't think that isn't him necessarily saying that, no, I'm done playing the character, I don't want to come back for any more. I've, done enough projects, the prequels, his character's been in the Clone Wars animated show, in the Rebels animated show, as I had mentioned, and has his own season on Disney+. It's enough of the character, but he isn't necessarily denying that he doesn't want to come back for the character whatsoever at the same time, saying that like it's a done deal with the character of Obi-Wan Kenobi, and he's just simply done with it and ready to walk away. Interestingly enough, Obi-Wan Kenobi Helmer, the director, Deborah Chow, had revealed last year that she and Ewan McGregor discussed many ways to follow up could go for a possible potential Obi-Wan Kenobi Season 2, saying that, in quote, "You always think that you're going to end a series like this in some magnificent way, but instead you end up in a parking lot with a second unit and hardly anybody there." Deborah Chow had said this in a spotlight with The Hollywood Reporter at the time. "It is always so anticlimactic, but as Ewan and I finished our very last shot on the second unit, and I was literally taking off my headphones, and he was already pitching some ideas for Season 2. There's another 10 years with plenty of stories to tell, and I don't think it's off the board. It's a never say never situation, but we really did conceive this as to be a limited series with one singular season," ending that quote right there. This is, of course, an older quote from a couple of months ago, nearly a year ago, I think, even at that there as well, but it kind of proves the point that Ewan has ideas, Deborah Chow has ideas, everybody has ideas for an Obi-Wan Kenobi Season 2, guys, and I would love to hear all of yours in the comments down below. Let me know what you guys are all thinking about a possible potential Obi-Wan Kenobi Season 2 in the comments down below. I'd love to hear what you guys are all thinking. Thanks so much for watching today's video. Of course, this has been Unofficial Star Wars. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great one. May the Force be with you as always. Peace out.